So let's talk about the idea of mobile Latreuo. We believe that Latreuo is an independent facility that can operate on its own, but we also believe that it's a partner to the local church. It's a companion to the church. It's here as a support system for the local church. If your church is looking at its worship department and saying, we kind of need a refresh, we need a revamp, we need a recharge, then maybe mobile Latreuo is a platform for you. What we're looking for is a weekend where we can come and work with your worship department, and we can kind of just charge everybody up, refresh some things, and refocus really what your worship team should be all about. So the way that this looks in practice is we'd come in on a Thursday night, we'd talk with your worship team, we'd get a commitment to the weekend. On Friday, we want to come into your worship facility and we basically want to redesign your worship center for the weekend. Whether you keep that design in a long-term setting is up to you, but for the purpose of the weekend, we're basically going to restructure some things in your sanctuary with your worship team. We'll redesign this and we'll put all the focus on the center of the auditorium. That's going to take a day's project, and then on that Friday night, our worship team will come and lead your worship team in a Latreuo service. So your team just gets to sit back and participate. And we think that's important because a lot of times our worshipers, our worship teams are so busy with the act of leading worship that they don't take time themselves to actually recharge and to refresh and to reset. And so Friday night is for our worship team to recharge your worship team and to rejuvenate them, refocus them. On Saturday, everybody's gonna reconvene in the sanctuary and we're gonna talk for a little bit. We're gonna go over the components of Latreuo, which is worship starts in the heart, worship is not for you, and worship as an act of service. So we're gonna have little kind of sessions where we talk about those three components and lay it out there for your team. On Saturday nights, we're gonna open this back up to your entire church congregation for an extra Latreuo worship service. Your team is gonna be a part of the Latreuo team, and will lead your congregation in a Latreuo worship service. Now, this is extra. This is not your regularly scheduled weekly Sunday service. This is an extra Saturday night service that we look at as a total church recharge, where we focus on the service of worship. We focus on the act of worship. We focus on the concept of Latreuo. And then on Sunday morning, it's right back to you. Our Latreuo team is nowhere involved in your worship team. We are on the front row, we are in the auditorium, and we are letting your worship team, this newly refreshed, recharged worship team, take over and run with it. Run with everything that they've learned for the weekend. Sunday morning, I'd love the opportunity to talk to your church and go over what we've worked at with your worship team over the weekend and charge them back up and kind of leave your congregation fired up and excited about the new changes that are coming to your church congregation. Now, the question everybody has is, how much is this gonna cost me, right? What's it gonna take to have somebody come in and redesign our worship team, recharge our worship team, refocus our worship team? It's not gonna cost you anything. It's free. It's entirely yours. This is our gift to you. This is our act of service. It'd be great if you could help us out with some lodging costs and maybe a few meals, but we're not gonna charge you anything. This is you calling and saying, hey, we'd love for you to come in and help us out. We'd love for you to come in and refresh us. Help us reevaluate this. We are not taking over. We're just recharging you. This is your congregation. This is your church. This is your worship team. And we're here just to help. We want to do this as an act of service. That's what's in our heart, and that's what we want to put into your heart as a church. That's Latreuo.